Good morning and welcome to another ironic introduction to another video. Today, I hammered out all of the rest of Act 5. So this is Act 5.4.1. I am finally past those stupid and incredibly frustrating class-specific quests where you just essentially deal reduced damage because you still bring your top roster, even if it's off class. I'm kind of trying to decide what I want to do here. I decided to go with an Omega Red and a Ghost team here. Think about bringing in my Vision. And I think for this quest, I actually commit. I'm like, you know what? Let's get the most out of this here. I'm still boosted for like the next 10 minutes. And at this moment, I haven't looked like detailed any guides, and I just completely mispressed. I was like, I didn't want to take that. So I do remember from watching Seaton's stream that he said there was a life transfer, so that's why I'm fairly confident I can handle this first quest very easily. So it really doesn't matter what I bring, just because you're going to punish it so hard no matter what. And again, like the biggest thing here with the delay is that I'm kind of debating bringing my Heimdall here. Because, well, I'm like, do I need Vision on a life transfer path? Wouldn't I just rather have Heimdall for the safety net? I do decide I'd rather have Heimdall, and this time I do proper take the life transfer node. I always do that thing where like I'm tapping the screen too much, so I buy the energy refill and then I accidentally use a small refill. So I'm not trying to troll you there. It just kind of happens on accident. Go in, double check, make sure there's no funky nodes here. Otherwise, it is just life transfer and enhanced crits. That's not me affecting the volume. That's just, you know, for some reason the game recording does include me affecting my volume controls, etc., which is really cool, but something I wish it didn't do sometimes. Karnak's a relatively easy fight as long as you remember that when he's awakened, he shrugs debuffs off faster. I believe it's all debuffs. So when you're stunning him, you have to be mindful of that. Yeah, so it is all debuffs. I haven't pinned up against the wall, so even though I'm aware that he shrugs debuffs, I'm not too worried that he'll intercept my heavy, and just absolutely took him out. I mean, you got to understand that for the last 6 quests, I have been hammering and hammering and hammering with Omega Red, and he's been dealing reduced damage. So, like, dealing normal amounts of damage, I was like, wow, Karnak died so fast. So go back into this Loki fight, double check the nodes really quick, buff duration, I can just ignore that. I decide I want to bring Ghost just because Loki's kind of a pain in the arse, and Ghost lets me meme mechanics so I don't have to think about like dodging specials and stuff. And I don't think Loki's a hard fight in general, I just think I don't play against him enough. So you can easily punish a special 1 when you're standing right next to him. So it's definitely just a matter of a close dex. I go in for a phase special 2 here with that wasp synergy, and sure enough, absolutely wrecked. I'm not running hood synergy, so every time I don't kill with a special, I will take damage. But honestly, it's just worth it in the long run. Good to see a Gwenpool here. I love seeing Gwenpool on a path. Double check to make sure there's nothing broken there. I see really quickly that it's just Stupefy. So essentially, don't get hit, don't get parried, no problem. Easy life. Go in with my Omega Red. Again, I'm boosted, so like there is a lot of damage to be had here with Omega Red. You can see that 9,192. I really do think that that is solidly rank 4 level for a 5-star. And there we go. There's the not enough space. Let me give you, the secret there is that I do take that Gwenpool out, no problem. And I move into the Yondu. I apologize for that. I just, I don't know why it said not enough space, because I actually had plenty of space on my phone. So, I went right back in, started recording. I go into Yondu with Ghost just because I don't want to accidentally push him into a special 2. And so it's just easier for me to bring Ghost into this fight. And because it's life transfer, I know that while Yondu is someone I'll make a lot of mistakes against, with Ghost, I don't have to worry about, those mistakes. Just because you can see that even with the damage I do take, I stay pretty topped off at 100%. I go in for my special 2, just barely missed the damage there. Go ahead and tap him for like a nice little love tap, and I'm back at 90%. Part of me wishes, I wonder, can I like play this a little bit faster? Nope, not that I know of. The only thing is that, like, the rest of these quests are super fun and interesting to watch. I just think this life transfer path is very boring. But sure enough, I go into this Ghost Rider. You do have to be mindful of Ghost Rider with 100% power gain. So even though there is life transfer there, you don't want to fight him kind of normally. So I took kind of like a different approach here where I parried and then let him do his own thing so I could build more spores up. And it's really risky because if the AI takes a super defensive approach, you don't really get anything out of it. I thought I could time the heavy attack there to get another degeneration. I see that he's almost dead, and so rather than worry about the special 3 here, I just punch into him. So, yeah, it's one of those things for Omega Red that I don't do often, but it is an option. So if you parry start, you could let the stun go off completely and not punish them at all, and hope that they like dodge back, dash forward, which is a standard AI approach after a stun wears off, and you can immediately intercept, get all the value out of those spores, and still not have to worry about the special bar as much. I got lucky that time, but it doesn't always pan out that well. But because it's life transfer, again, I wasn't too worried about missing out on that damage source. Falcon here, pretty standard fight, except if I had just like stalled a little bit on my phase there, I wouldn't have had to worry about blocking all that damage. And that's really one of the things with Ghost is make sure that when you're phasing specials, you be mindful of how long your phase is going to last, because the last thing you want is to take a bunch of damage right when you're coming out of a phase. Going into a beast here, just energy resistance. This path is very easy. I really wish it was a little more interesting, but that's just how life transfer is. I mean, if you're not hitting them, life transfer can be kind of a pain, but it's not any more of a pain than what is it, like aggression, brute force. Brute force is a real pain. I don't like brute force because sometimes I like to really slow play my special baiting, and brute force doesn't let you do that. So I get my nice easy phase special too. Now, there is a playstyle that allows you to special 2 intercept after a phase, and essentially what it is you approach your opponent, and you repeatedly light tab block as you're approaching until they dash towards you, and then the instant they dash towards you, you phase special 2, and it will special 2 intercept. It's just not as easy as just letting Wasp do all the work for you. So, because when you have Wasp, you literally don't have to think. You just wait till you're nice and close, comboing into them, and then immediately phase special 2, which I'm going to do right here, And yes, they're going to be blocking almost all the time. And actually what I really like about this one is that unlike, champions that have like a high probability to dodge specials, a lot of times will put their block up instead and not evade. I did get lucky there at the end. The Vision actually hit a special 3, but I don't know if he wanted to use it or if I got lucky and he opted to dash forward instead. But I was able to phase special 1. I see stun immunity here on the Quake and instantly think Ghost. I definitely think this path would be a lot more frustrating if I didn't have Ghost, but Ghost is just, she's a snowball. Honestly, when I go to push Act 6, I really don't think I'll be able to push it for a little bit just because I have Omega Red and I have Ghost, and those 2 champions really let me push so far in Act 5, and I'm nowhere near that kind of power level in champions, and nowhere near that kind of player skill to run other champions. Like, yes, I have very strong 5 stars, I'm just not good enough as a player. And these 2 champions just let me meme so much. And here, there's like a brief pause. I'm like, my screen won't let me move and check these nodes. So I'm like, I guess I will check what I can see. I'm clicking around here, and I'm like, Bane 3. I don't want to do that. That's just a regular fight. I'm actually trying to click on the Storm here. So I move a little bit closer. There we go. On the Hulk, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's just Bane. Great. I guess I'll take a Bane fight because I don't really get a choice. I could fight the Doc Ock, but honestly, I went Doc Ock. I'll take a pass. I go for this Storm. Storm just has less health than a Hulk, so I just thought that would be an easier fight. Plus, her specials are very easy to dodge. I don't know. I don't really have any logic for this pathing. I don't really know where it leads me to afterwards. I thought that after the end of that long path, this was supposed to lead me to the boss. So when it didn't, I was a little surprised. So standard punching into this Captain America World War II. I'm actually looking for a parry here so I can get my heavy attack in. And then nice little bait of the special. That was beautiful. Like when you're playing Omega Red, that is the dream, is that you'll get the heavy in and then they'll immediately special. Because, you know, free punishment and the fight. Actually, if he hadn't gone unblockable there, my Omega Red, I was just going to special too. I just wanted to check that quick message. That's my fiance sending me cute little love messages. I apologize for pulling that down. But, you know, it's still on my phone. So I needed to see what the alert was. For me, it's, you know, a flashing light in my face. For you, you don't see the flashing notification on my screen. Punch into this Storm. Ghost and Bane is kind of interesting, right? Because what you want to do is just kind of punch into them after your phase. And what I do is I personally alter my combos a little bit beforehand. So around the halfway mark, I get like a little bit of a longer combo in, so I can do a phase medium right into a phase combo, and that will transfer Bane. You know, there's maybe too much thinking there, but you know, you want to be careful with Ghost so that you're not, you know, having an opponent's dash back and hold block while you're trying to transfer the Bane over. Luckily for us as players, we don't have to worry about the AI doing anything absolutely ridiculous. So I'm reading up on this Punisher 29. I'm like, these buffs aren't that bad. I don't see anything special here. I opt to like do a quick scan of his skills. I'm like, is this the Punisher that can go invulnerable? And I'm reading and I'm like, nope, recharge, battery, power, blah, 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 blah. I was like, I'm going to bring Ghost to this fight. So none of this is relevant to me. And honestly, like, this is one of the reasons why I love Ghost. I didn't even really read all of that. I was like, power gain, recharge, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to bring Ghost. And we're going to totally meme him. So sure enough, you know, I get some nice light mediums in here. I like to do a couple extra hits sometimes, just because it pushes me a little bit closer to that special 2. And sure enough, I get my nice special 2 in, and he's already sub half. Haven't even had to do anything yet. Oh, hey, thanks for the free bar of power, Punisher. That was really nice. The other thing is that when you have the opponent at above a special, above 1 bar of special, you do want to kind of delay for like a half second at least before phasing, because there is a strong chance that if you delay and you let your AI kind of like keep themselves unguarded, that the AI will special right into you and you'll get some free punishment. It's very nice, very, very lucky, and exactly what I wanted. So that was a very, very quick chapter. Very, very quick quest. So I dive straight into the next one. I'm like looking around. So at this point, I actually have no idea where I'm supposed to go or what's an optimal path. I saw Poison Bleed there. I check up on the other ones. I don't even know what like any of these nodes do except for Resilience. And I'm like, Poison Bleed? I'm running a Poison and Bleed immune champion roster. Let's take that one. I thought about changing my roster up, but then I was like, no, I didn't need anyone else besides my Ghost and my Omega Red. So let's stick with the safety net of Heimdall synergy, because I really, really, really like my Heimdall synergy. I see Biohazard Flare. Biohazard's a Omega Red treat, and it is a Ghost treat if you are paying attention to your buffs. But I bring Omega Red in here. What's nice about Biohazard is normally it puts bleeds on you, and you either want to be poison and bleed immune. But with Omega Red, you just take the bleed. You say, hey, thanks for the bleed damage, bro. That's activating my death spores. So I'm punching into him. The only thing I really have to worry about here is Flare. I thought with the Flare damage that would kill him. It is a little tough to judge when you're dealing 3 times as much. But still, I walk away a little bit healthier from that than your typical player. I move into this Joe Fix-It. At this point, I'm actually a little worried that it's like going to be Flare the whole time. Flare lands for easy fights, but definitely a lot of not fun damage. But easy fight, I see that it's just Biohazard, and I don't know, Joe Fix-It stacking the deck, I guess. You know, neat, good for him because he's going to die before it's even relevant. Wait out the timers. The only thing I hate is, you know, all the like the random ticking of the buffs. Kind of annoying to watch. I don't have to hold the block there. You can parry it. You can dex at the end. But I want to make sure I'm close enough to punish. There and there and there. I thought I got the parry off, but I guess not. You know, such is life. Get my nice fat degeneration in. I got lucky with that unblockable. He's going to try to clap here. And I'll move in special 3. Now, I thought it would just kill him. But I was really, really hoping it wouldn't. Just because whenever I'm sub 100% health with Omega Red, I like to get a special 3 in for some free damage, but looks like I beat him up too fast. You know, like I said, you can mitigate that damage just kind of by backing off and letting the spores drop off a little bit, kind of guarantee yourself a heal. I opted not to. I thought that might be a little bit risky. So I checked the Yellow Jacket. I'm like, oh, not excited about that. I checked the Red Hood, not excited about that. And I checked the Hyperion, and I'm like, I don't want to fight a Hyperion. So I'm like, okay, the nodes aren't universal at the very least. I see that bloodletting on the Captain America. I see masochism, and I'm like, okay, so it's Hyperion or eventually a masochism. We'll go straight down the Red Hood path and see what we got. I really should have done some research here through just beforehand. But Breakthrough Stupefy is not too bad, especially with Ghost and like her auto crits. You can still get a lot of damage through this very easily. You can see even with the Breakthrough node, I'm still hitting for like a fat chunk of his health with every crit. Now Red Hood, at this time, I'm like, I don't remember if I'm supposed to bait the special 1 or the special 2. I was like, I know one of them is one of the one you're supposed to bait, so I think it's the special 2. That's what I guess. I dodge all of these, and I'm like, oh, shit, wrong one. So now I have to wait out the invisibility timer. Luckily with Ghost, it's really easy to give yourself some distance. So I phase, and now I'm like, okay, now I know, bait the special 1. Go ahead and get my special 3 out here because I do want to build up to a special 2 or a special 1 if possible to end the fight, because that's really where a lot of your burst damage comes from Ghost. So now I know, okay, I'm baiting the special 1. I'm baiting the special 1. Fun stuff. Every time. I don't know why this keeps happening. Well, I baited the special 1. I apologize. Punch into him. And now I'm letting the breaking through node kind of do its work. But again, I want to bait the special 1. I don't want to have to worry about any kind of punishment in the long run. But he's being a little stingy. Like, yo, dude, my guard's down. Thank you. Let me punish, and I screw up. Yep, you definitely don't want to dash into lightning. If you ever have the opportunity to dash into lightning, I would advise against it. You know, mistakes were made, but that's okay. Now I'm like, okay, special 2 is up. Let me just get some free damage in here and wipe him out. Clean fight. Just kidding. It could have been worse, though. It really could have been worse. Ghost still is absolutely wrecking through here. And we're going to move into this Captain America World War II. Who is bloodletting as a node? I'm not really sure why he has bloodletting as a node, but sure. I guess Captain America World War II deserves to bleed you a little bit more. Bring Omega Red. Don't even have to think about bleeds. Unless, you know, someone has like enhanced bleed, in which case you do have to think about it. But for the most part, with that 1 point of coagulate, all of the Captain Americas are nice because if you bait a special 1, you can heavy counter. I make the mistake there of just letting myself get punished. But you know, you're not always perfect. So there, I wasn't baiting a special or anything. I was just actively trying to see if I could stall the fight out a little bit longer so I could get a special 3 in. And that's what I was talking about, mitigating your damage. So with Omega Red, if you back off and so you're not building as many spores, you can let the spores fall off to let the damage drop off. And as a result, get a special 3 in. So that Essence Steel kind of prevents me from having to worry about a special 3. I can get the parry in, get my full combo in, get my special 1. Now, the reason I did kind of like a modified combo there is because I was really hoping I would get like no crits, and with a little bit of luck and some, him being a little healthier than I thought, I would have gotten some free healing, but it didn't happen. Attempts were made. As always, I continue down this path, see that Gwenpool, and I'm always happy to see a Gwenpool. Gwenpool is a solid champion to see on a path. I dive in here with my Omega Red. I'm like, time to get some free healing. Gotta love Gwenpool. 55% health. She's playing strangely defensive. Defensive AI always throws me off, especially at this level, because like I'm not ready for it. But so far so good. She throws that special out pretty early, so I'm ready to punish. Should be able to medium, special 1, and what? 1%? That's 5% health. I should have been able to keep Gwenpool. Way to be stingy. Stingy Gwenpool. That's what I was talking about. We're in between wars. I will place heroes. I just don't need to do it right when it drops. Definitely, like, if you're in Alliance, do your officers a favor and place your heroes in the first couple of hours. You can still use them in quests, right? So you don't have to worry about not placing them. And if you're like, oh, well, once the war starts, I can't use my heroes anymore. Well, if you're in a position where you need those heroes, you need to work that out with your Alliance, because you're really holding them back if you're not placing a defense. And honestly, place them early so your officers can move them around to their proper slots. Not every Alliance has designated slots for each defender, so you want to give them the best they can. This Black Panther fight is super easy. Just kind of showcases why I love Omega Red. I strictly undervalued the amount of damage on my special 1 there. And I get punished pretty hard. Should have ended the fight at 95%. Instead, I ended at 30%. I was pretty frustrated at that moment just because I know that's potion and revives in the future. Those kinds of mistakes are not forgiving, but, can't play perfect all the time. I go ahead, pop an energy refill here, and progress forward. Howard the Duck. So far, I'm like, I think I chose the right path. I think I nailed it. But, it's not like I could move my path around and see. Hoping I can get some more healing off with Omega Red. Not that Howard the Duck really gives you any opportunity to, but I'm hoping I can get that nice parry start. Fat Degeneration. I'm just trying to get him up to 30, I think. Please throw your special 1, Howard. Because that's what I'm really worried about. Failed the dex anyways. I was like, I'm going to take a bunch of block damage if I don't bait out a special 1. And I take a rocket to the face anyways. This time, I just decided to block it. I'm like, better safe than sorry. I'm not trying to die here. Right? It's just a Howard the Duck. It would be a meme to lose my fight here. Get my nice heavy counter at his heavy. I dex that one proper. Fight's almost over. I'm going to go ahead and special 2 here to end. Clean fight. I had to turn my volume down there. Howard is... The noises he makes drive me nuts. Just absolutely nuts. Go into this Wolverine fight here. I check these nodes, and I do want to point out that I dumped some potions in just to make sure that my Omega Red doesn't immediately die. But be mindful of the node here, Enhanced Bleed, which is bleed abilities are 40% more effective. Sorry, I had to pick something up. And so when I saw that, I was like, I think that means I take damage from bleeds. But I wasn't entirely sure, so I still brought Omega Red in just in case. And as long as I play it fairly standard, it wouldn't be a problem. Excuse me. So far so good. Heavy counter to the special 1. Punch into his combo. Get a nice little parry there. So that regeneration stack is starting to prove very annoying. And there we go. No problem. Fight ends super easy. So I never learned. But I am pretty sure that when you have that 40% enhanced bleed, that even as Omega Red with 1 point of Coagulate, you do take bleed damage, and it is incredibly frustrating to take bleed damage when you've invested heavily into masteries to avoid that. But that's just kind of like the punishment of bleed immunity versus lack of bleed immunity. I see this Ultron, I see Limber, and I think Ghost. What does Ghost mean? Ghost means I don't have to worry about champions being stun immune because I don't parry. That Limber is there because against Ultron, in order to remove the regeneration, you have to parry him. But I'm like, not if you bring Ghost. You can just punch him through. So, building up my phase. I actually wanted to special 2 there. He just special 1 before I did. So, got my special 2 in a little bit later. He goes for self-repair. I'm not even going to try to. I'm just going to literally punch my way through. Didn't have to worry about it. Maybe if there was a recovery node, I would have gone for the parry. But the truth is, even at recovery like 200%, Ultron's healing is something that with Ghost, you can just hammer through it. Like really just brute force your way through that regeneration. It's not until it's like 300% that you actually have to start worrying about it. Again, of course, I'm going to take the poison and bleed path. Actually, at this point in real life, I was like, Jesus, how many fights is this going to be? Like, are all of these quests 12 or 13 fights? It's such a pain in the arse. You need so much sustain, or you have to play so well through these things. But, I bring my Omega Red, and I'm like, Magneto, shit. I hate Magneto fights. Just because, like, I'm not too great at dodging the special 2. And if you get hit by a special 2, you typically just die. It's definitely like one of the few things from Magneto that you have to worry about. You can see I timed that heavy attack just like barely too slow. And this is actually the fight where I think I learned that you can't punish a Magneto special 1 at max range. So if you're dexing up against the wall, you're taking that special 1 to the face. Special 3 here. Trying to get some health back. Right, conserve potions with my Omega Red. Nope, this is the fight where I die to a special 3. Yeah. I don't die here. I'm at 1%, but I could have sworn my Essence Steel was supposed to prevent that from happening. Heal block, just bad luck. Not a good time. The heal block's not bad luck. I'm pretty sure Essence Steel was supposed to prevent that special 3 from happening, but the AI was too quick up on the draw. What I think happened, if I double check it, what I think happened was the Magnetized actually like prevented the power drain from activating, which would have really sucked. So I bring my Deadpool in here just because I don't want to bring Ghost because there is the chance that the phasing will fail. So I'm really hoping that I can clear this fight with my Deadpool X-Force. But here I'm like, gotta beta special 2. Not my ideal. I did manage to dex it, which was nice because I thought I was dead. I thought I missed it. Special 2. Get that nice juicy bleed. Bleed does some good damage. Punch him out to death. Clean fight. Just again, another reason why you want to rank up your champions even if you're just using them for synergies. Obviously, if you have just a 3-star, maybe you don't want to invest the resources. But hey, my Wasp is going to be max rank pretty soon. Just because that's the only Wasp I have. So, she gets to be a max rank 3-star. Not optimal, not great, but hey, might save me a potion or a revive down the line. You never know. Just for optimal play, if the X-23 ever heavies like that, as Ghost, you're probably better off charging a heavy and countering her heavy, just because you get those free Fury stacks, but Ghost tears through these fights so quickly that it doesn't matter. I see a teleporter here, and I'm like, okay, this is probably the end of the pathing. Just kind of like the way they've set it up, it looks like they've centralized it all. And sure enough, right to a Morningstar. I'm like, I hate Morningstar. Morningstar is not a bad fight if you have bleed immunity, but you do have to be concerned about taking bleed damage every time you hit her. And I see recovery, heal block, and I'm like, son of a... heal block. What's with every fight having heal block? I run suicide-friendly champions. You're not helping me out, Morningstar. Shatter, the rest of it, those are all pretty standard, but I decide, I'm like, let's see how much value I can get out of my Ghost, just because Morningstar is someone who carries persistent charges through fights, so even though my Ghost is slow, I want to see how much damage I can get in here first with her. So I am just going for some like really quick medium hits in here just to kind of build up my power, just because I'm also like, I'm not super confident I can end this fight in a one-shot. So I'm going to get my special 2 in here while I still have my Furies. And the only nice thing about fighting Morningstar with Ghost is that every time you get a bleed from hitting her, if you immediately phase, it turns into a Fury. And so far I'm like, holy shit, this fight is going great. Build up into a special 2 and I tank her out. I was like, wow, Ghost, 4% health. I mean, I'll take it. I was like, no revive needed, I guess. I move out through this quest here. Just a quick update. I think at this point, I'm at 6,847 5-star shards. The reason I keep clicking on that is the motivation for me to clear this act is to get my next 2 5 stars. That said, I'll talk to you all later.